Today is a new day to start again. Take each moment one by one and do the best you can. Yesterday doesn't matter, it only serves as a ladder. Tomorrow isn't guaranteed, so make your plans accordingly. Today is a new day to start again. Take each moment one by one and do the best you can. Grand Rising, today is a new day to start again. It is 12/3/2024. Time does seem to be moving slower in December. I've been talking a lot about how fast time was moving or felt to be moving the last 3 or 4 months. But it does seem like these days have been moving much slower. I've done a video every day this month so far. It's 3 days in, but I've been very drained when I get home. It's been a struggle trying to force myself to get out. I've had some good moments. Sometimes you make a connection with a stranger and it's like the ringing of a bell. So I went out last night just to get some food. There's a pretty reasonable place to eat near where I live. And so I went in there because I didn't really want to do dishes and I didn't want to cook. I just, when it's cold out and you're struggling just to make it outside, sometimes you spend more money just because you're lazy. And I struggle with being lazy sometimes. I think the big things that I carry is procrastination and maybe a little bit too lazy, but I don't think either of those are really true. So those are just struggles that I have to bring out of myself and work on. But anyways, all of that's been kind of a struggle. So I've had to self-motivate, and I'm not seeing a lot of positive affirmation that things that I'm doing, I'm not getting positive rewards. And I know that the whole point of life is that you do things not for reward, but because of, if you're following the way, just because that's the way it is. And you being able to handle difficulties in a positive way is more positive than a positive person handling positive things, because you're showing like how to do it as opposed to just getting the benefit of it, of your momentum. And it's not your momentum. Whenever you're a really successful person, you've been gifted that. So there becomes responsibility. And as awareness grows bigger, so does the guilt. And the more responsible you are, the more guilt you will have, because you have a lot of influence because of your momentum. So sometimes people will get moving really hard in a direction, and then they realize how powerful they are, and they're like, oh man. Like if somebody came up to you and goes, you're going to be God today, how about that? And you're like, I didn't want that. It's like that movie. You're like, whoa, I'm sorry. I didn't, no. I don't want that. But you already have it. Too late. Because of what you did and what you enjoyed. I saw a beautiful girl last night, and I was taken aback. But it was a really strange situation. Like I came in, and she pointed to me as I came in, and she goes, is your name Joe? And I suck. My reaction was just, nope, it's not Joe. And I wasn't trying to be, I was just like, well, first of all, I'm not a Joe. Nothing wrong with Joes, but I'm definitely not a Joe. I like Joes, but I'm a David. That's who I am. And it just, anyways, so I spent the rest of the night thinking about, why did I not say something clever there? Why didn't I come up with because this girl was, like the rest of the night, she's beautiful in a town that there's plenty of beautiful women, but they ain't going out at 9 o'clock at night to get a burger at a bar. But this girl was, for whatever reason. And so there was another gentleman sitting next to me, and then there was a young guy over here. It was like a movie. I got to go onto a movie set. And what I found out from the camaraderie was that the young lady came in and but she was involved in a conversation with a much larger gentleman, the largest gentleman in the bar, and he was locked in. This guy was like ready to, let's do this. Let's get phone numbers. Let's exchange whatever we got to do. I'm up for it. And so they had their thing going on, and everybody else in the bar was basically talking about it. And so I just thought the whole thing was interesting getting the take. But the resonance that I got actually came from uh, the gentleman sitting here next to me, and his opening to me after listening to me talk to the young man was, my dad just died. I have an obituary that I just wrote on my phone. Would you read it and for me because he seemed smart? And I was like, okay. And so we had a pretty cool moment where I read it, and it was actually very good. He is a very professional person. He didn't look as professional, like looks can be deceiving, but I found out later that he was a manager of people, basically, is what he called himself. And his writing was very good. And so I turned to him and I just gave him my approval of his obituary. And then we talked a little bit about, because I wrote my dad's obituary. And so all of this was going on during that serious moment. So we had that. And where this came from is he was like, I'm so glad that you sat next to me, and that helped me so much. And so all of that's happening in the middle of that. And yeah, why would I tear up on that? So silly. But so that fills my cup. I guess I didn't really want to do this, but I guess it's important because that tear right there makes it to where it doesn't matter all the because in that moment we're paying homage to my father and his father. I really didn't want to do that, but maybe I'll keep this in. Why not? I'm a drama queen. In that moment, I wasn't trying to be anyone until I started to, and then I saw the girl again and had a play out in my head of how I could be the knight in shining armor. I wanted to like come over there and be like, you're the most beautiful girl I've seen in a long time, and I just wanted to say I appreciate you. But she was drinking, so it's gonna be a total line. And there was a really big dude next to her. But it's kind of like when you realize you're in a dream. Whenever you have moments where that's all going on, and I've talked to that guy, and then you're just like, it just feels really good, and it makes it to where you're happy that you're doing what you're doing. And hopefully I had an impact on that guy whose dad died like 3 days ago, and he was writing an obituary for him, or whatever it was. I think I just keep waiting around for some girl to stumble across me and just become exasperated with the world that I've been left alone for so long. But then the same God that I just talked about says, dude, I've already told you repeatedly, you have to fix yourself. You have to clean your room and then ask again. So the journey is just adapting and adjusting and adopting, and you're in it with yourself regardless of what happens. So you're in a marriage or not in a marriage, in a family or not in a family. In the end, it all comes back to you're in it with yourself always. So you better like yourself. And if you're married, yourself is part of a marriage. You better like your spouse too, because they're basically yourself. Your life is about moments. What is your intent? Your focus? Your motivation? Where do you spend your energy? And what is your intent? That is your power. The more focused, the more powerful, the more balanced, the more eternal. Moment to moment, one led to another. It is free to choose or let it be chosen. which is what I choose to do. Whatever it is, whoever it is, we choose. There is always a sale to be made. To bring it back to sales. Did I cry during the middle of this? All right. So in sales, either you sell the customer or the customer sells you on why they are not buying what you're selling. That's the big line that people will say. Or you ain't got what they want. Sales is attitude. If you keep a good attitude, keep good posture, do the things that are to be done, the things that need to be done, you will succeed. Just doing, that's what I always said. If you're having a struggle, just start doing things that will make things more successful. Start farming, planting the seeds, you can't always be in action. You have to do the things that grow while you're working. I could have probably done that with my finances. That's what the smart people did. So if you start doing the things well, you gain that momentum, you will start to succeed. It's just a matter of that's how it works. If you water and keep up with things, you will continue to succeed. And if you wear the success well, you'll get to keep it. Nothing outsells excitement. That's the other big one, is bringing good energy in. I mean, and that's about posture and smiling. But I don't think any of those two adages, the sale always is made and nothing outsells excitement, I don't think they're actually true. I think those are just motivational taglines that sales crews get, because the energy of excitement is very helpful when influencing, obviously. It's like people talk about it like it's a thermometer. You bring up the buying level with urgency. It's actually a science, but I think genuinity is really the strongest way to really grow, is being genuine when somebody's fully satisfied. It's more proactive than it is reactive to be good in customer service, to cover your bases, to make sure that you are over the top covering backlash. And we say it's for the good, but it's because we've had the bad happen, and bad really can make things bad. It doesn't take long. It doesn't take long for one person to come into a situation and really spur it into something different. And it doesn't take long for one of the wrong ones. That doesn't mean you got to weed them out necessarily, but it's definitely something that is important to watch. And maybe I'm that too. So I just talked myself into a hole. Anyways, it's all really just a joke, isn't it? Whenever you're out there, I think deep down everybody knows it's just for a show. And today is just another day to do what you can and try to stay warm if it's cold outside. If it's warm where you are, I'm very happy for you. If you're somewhere where it's warm, good for you. It's cold here. So I will set some of my warmest, I will say, I want to end this out. Some of my warmest memories come from very, very cold days. And I have those warm days on cold days to remember. So just remember the good times. Do great. Be great. Have an awesome day.